While enthusiasm may be necessary for great accomplishments elsewhere, on Wall Street it almost invariably leads to disaster. That's Benjamin Graham. Now, what we try to do here is, of course, we are enthusiastic when we have good trends to follow, but at the same time, we pay attention to the charts. We don't let ourselves get drawn into improper enthusiasm. We want to track these charts, follow these trends, and figure out what to do in a very reasoned and intelligent manner. If you don't have our book, you can find a link in the show notes. Be happy to send you your own autographed copy. Appreciate you being with us. 10 to 15 minutes a day is all we ask. Interesting market today. The S&P down a little bit. Qs, the NASDAQ 100 up. Bonds up, gold down. Let's jump first and foremost. And again, we are traveling today, about to get onto a plane, so I'm trying to knock this out in the airport before it is too late and it doesn't get out till midnight. God willing, that's not going to happen. Let's talk about what's going with the S&P 500 so far. Big green up candle. Don't have a crossover. Still in a confirmed weekly down move. Price percent oscillator is heading up toward the red signal line, but not crossed. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. We go from the weekly to the 2-day. What do we see there? Well, again, the 2-day represents, the last one represented Friday and Monday. This one, of course, represents Tuesday, and it is crossing over, going up. Hasn't confirmed yet. It will finish drawing on Wednesday. And if you look at where it's topping out, you can see that the upper wick on both of the candles, both the prior one and the one that's drawing now, are about the same spot. And again, down just barely for the day, 0.03%. So we'll see if things actually do cross over. They may very well do that. We'll see how strong that is. We go to the 4-hour chart. What do we see there? We see where over the last 2 days things have topped. Now, still a ways away from crossing over, going down. Derivative oscillator losing upward momentum. Price percent oscillator still moving up. So we'll pay close attention to that. We go from the weekly on the S&P 500 to the weekly on the Qs. What do we see going on there? We see that the Qs is up for the day 0.13%. A green candle is being drawn, about flat, actually. Yeah, might be heading down just a little bit on the price percent oscillator. Derivative oscillator still gaining downward momentum. A green up candle drawing so far. We look at the 2-day chart. What do we see? Hasn't crossed over. Two big green up candles, but again, topping out at about the same spot, maybe a little bit higher on the Qs, and the derivative oscillator still negative. So we'll wait and see how this candle finishes drawing at the close of the market on Wednesday. We go to the 4-hour chart. And we see that same topping over the last 2 days. And in fact, a red spinning top, almost a doji indecision, tending down. Price percent oscillator still going up. So we'll see if this move has played its way. If it does roll over and go down before that 2-hour chart crosses over, might be back into another down play. Don't know. We'll let the charts lead us. We're sure not in an up play at this point, nor are we in a down play. We're in a wait and see. What's going on with bonds up for the day? We do see a weekly candle of a red open box. It's not a closed box red down candle, but it is a cautionary red candle right there at the weekly trend line. Price percent oscillator still going up. Derivative oscillator still going up, like we said, up just a little bit for the day, 0.09%. We can see where things have been sliding sideways now, going on 5 days. Price percent oscillator's heading down a little bit. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. We go to the 4-hour chart. What do we see there? Again, hitting a bottom somewhere around 130.28. What's going to happen? Is it going to push off that? Don't know. We do see that the derivative oscillator is telling us it's heading down. The price percent oscillator is heading down. Derivative oscillator is losing downward momentum. So again, we'll keep a watch and see eye. Hopefully you have taken your profit somewhere back a few days ago. If you do indeed see a crossover going back up on this 4-hour chart, though, particularly if stocks start heading down again, that might be what you're seeing here. You might want to think about jumping back into a practice trade on bonds. Keep your powder dry on that. What's going on with gold? don't have a jumping in point yet. Gold again popped way up this prior week, had a weekly vertical crossover going up. Red open box candle so far. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Price percent oscillator still heading up. We go from the weekly to the 2-day, and again we see that pull back, a red down candle, little wick on top, bigger wick on the bottom. Price percent oscillator still heading up. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. So we don't have a crossover going down or anything, but weakness in gold. 4-hour chart, what is that showing us? Well, 4-hour chart ended the day with a bit of a green candle, but again crossed over going down in the morning, and the derivative oscillators gaining downward momentum. So a little bit of a pull up at the end of the day. But again, until we see this 4-hour chart crossing over going up, we're not going to jump into any up move on gold. That's where we are as we end the day. Going to be traveling the next few days. Going to try my best to get out for you all of these broadcasts in a timely manner. If you do want to purchase our book, they are available. Appreciate our Patreon supporters. We love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. Keep watching these charts with us. Be ready to keep practice trading. Appreciate you being with us. God bless. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.